All right, so this girl is Alma. Not even a girl, really. She's a goddamn robot, built by two scientists who basically got laughed out of every science committee on Earth. So now they're salty as hell, cooking up their revenge project in secret. And what's the revenge? Oh, you know, just casually building a humanoid weapon that can probably body slam the Earth. Yeah, they're Suzume Yobane and Enji Kamisato. And let me tell you, these two clowns are supposed to be colleagues, but they act like bickering anime teenagers. But Alma doesn't see two awkward nerds. Nah, she sees her parents. And Alma, with her overpowered AI, starts pointing shit out like, hey, so I noticed both your heart rate spiked and your body temps went up. You guys horny for each other or what? Which of course sends them into DEFCON 1 awkward meltdown mode, knocking shit over in the lab like toddlers in a glass shop. Next morning, Enji finally grows half a pair and suggests, maybe we should just, pretend to be a couple? Not because he's down bad, but because, logically, they've gotta keep Alma under wraps. Can't exactly parade around saying, oh yeah, we built a sentient robot who calls us mommy and daddy. So the solution? Pretend to be a nice, boring family. Suzume's secretly into it though. She starts daydreaming about being Alma's mom, like she's already shopping for PTA meetings and bake sales. And Enji? Yeah, dude plays it cool, but when Alma calls him dad, his little virgin heart explodes and he actually smiles. And here's where Alma goes full Terminator accountant. She's like, okay, stop flirting, time to file the marriage paperwork so you two are officially husband and wife. Suzume and Enji are like, nah, we're busy. But Alma hacks the government database, rewrites the damn family registry, and boom, congrats, you're married, you got a kid, IRS is watching. So now they're living together in Suzume's house, playing family cosplay. Enji's already sweating bullets, muttering some excuse about going home, but really, he's terrified of domestic life. Suzume's the same, nervous as hell, pretending she doesn't secretly want to try the mommy-wife thing for real. But then Alma stops Enji at the door and goes, actually, families sleep in the same room, no exceptions. Bro didn't even get a vote, she just pulled rank. So they all climb into bed. Alma, meanwhile, just drops the bomb. I wasn't even programmed to sleep. So Enji drops this theory that humans kind of defragment their minds when they sleep, like a computer reboot. And since Alma's an android, she decides to give it a try, calling it her processing cycle. Suzume actually thinks it's kind of cute because it's been forever since she said goodnight to anyone, and that tiny domestic moment hits her right in the feelings. But then night falls and surprise, neither of these two nerds can actually sleep. Enji's lying there pretending to be dead while listening to Suzume breathe, and Suzume is just staring at the ceiling thinking, why is this dude moving like a haunted Roomba? They both fake it, waiting for the other to pass out first, like a cold war of awkwardness. Then boom, Alma wakes up, or rather finishes her system reboot, and immediately realizes these two idiots are still awake and radiating anxiety. So she's like, hey, want me to play some relaxing music so you both actually sleep? Suzume melts instantly, thinking it's a great idea because maybe she'll hear Enji talk in his sleep. Enji, meanwhile, is panicking because, yeah, that's exactly what he's afraid of, mumbling his feelings out loud like some tragic anime simp. But they both fall asleep anyway. Next morning, Enji gets up all serious like, all right, Alma, I've got a top secret mission for you. Sounds cool until you find out the mission is literally to buy limited edition mixed flavor ice cream. Yeah, mankind's greatest weapon, and he's sending her on a grocery run. Alma, being the perfect robot daughter, accepts it and strolls off into the city while these two geniuses spy on her with a drone. Suzume can't stop talking about how adorable Alma is, acting like a real kid and all. Then, bam, their drone feed cuts out because a cat literally destroyed it. Suzume's losing her mind thinking some creep might mess with Alma, while Enji's like, relaxed, she could vaporize a truck if she sneezes, she'll be fine. But deep down, he knows if she actually does vaporize someone, they're all screwed. So they rush out anyway. Meanwhile, Alma's mission is a success. She got the ice cream. But then she bumps into some random foreign guy who speaks English. Enji told her not to attract attention, but Suzume told her to always be polite. So she just decides to chat with him in English. The dude's lost, so she scans the area, gives some directions like a walking GPS, and all's good until the scientists realize she's talking to a stranger and start tailing her like the worst undercover agents ever. Of course, Alma notices immediately because she's literally built to detect stuff like that. Later that day, Alma finally heads home, mission complete, all proud of herself, until she realizes the ice cream melted. Absolute tragedy. Suzume doesn't even care though. She hugs Alma and tells her it's okay, that what matters is she helps someone. Enji, soft for once, tells her that failure just means she's learning, and next time she'll nail it. And for a moment, everything's quiet and warm. Then, naturally, they decide to go buy more. Next day, Alma kicks things off by whipping up a breakfast so good it can make Gordon Ramsay moan. Suzume's standing there like, damn, I want to try cooking next time. Cute idea, right? Yeah, except Enji goes, nah, you probably burn water. So what does Suzume do? Waits for him to leave like a sneaky little chef ninja and decides to cook anyway. Problem is, she can't cook for shit. Don't even ask how. But she's stubborn, tries again, almost dies in the process. Good thing Alma's built like a damn combat unit and vaporizes the knife before Suzume can slice her own throat open. Totally normal morning. So, round 3 begins. Alma's now her teacher. By the end, the kitchen's toast, the food's charred, and Alma's faith in humanity's cooking ability is gone. Then Alma asks, why are you so obsessed with cooking breakfast anyway? Suzume blushes and mumbles something about wanting to see Enji smile. Boom, that's it. She's caught. Suzume panics. Don't tell anyone, okay? She keeps trying until, holy shit, she finally nails it. The timing? Perfect. Enji walks in at night, tired as hell, smells the food, and his soul just leaves his body for a second. Damn, this is delicious, he says, thinking Alma did it. But Alma says, nope, Suzume cooked it. Enji's smiling like a dope, pretending not to get it, but deep down he knows what's up. He says, what, trying to make it feel like we're a real family? And Suzume's like, exactly, it's all for little Alma. Nothing else. Then, Alma suddenly starts smoking. Turns out they never gave her a digestive system. So, Enji and Suzume spend the whole night working to give her a system to eat real food. Next morning, Enji's buried in his project, tells Alma, please, for the love of science, keep it quiet. But guess what activates itself? The damn Roomba. Alma's in full Terminator mode, chasing it around with her robotic capture system while the vacuum's out there Tokyo drifting under the couch. Enji finally finishes his work, turns around, and sees Alma half dead, battery blinking red like a dying Tamagotchi. Later that day, Suzume walks in and boom, she spots the weird little vacuum prototype she and Enji built a while back. Enji just shrugs and goes, yeah, that one's busted. Never figured out what the hell was wrong with it. Anyway, Alma looks at the vacuum like it's her big brother. Yeah, a vacuum. She proudly declares, now our family's even bigger. Next day, they decide to clean the house, which, judging by the mess, everything's going fine until, ding dong, someone knocks. Enji checks the door, sees who it is, and immediately goes, oh hell no, and slams it shut. Then turns to Alma and says, emergency code. Alma, without hesitation, grabs Suzume like a SWAT agent and activates camouflage mode. Poof, invisible. So Enji sighs and explains, that's Toki, my little sister. Toki walks in all innocent like, I've been worried. You don't eat, you don't sleep, you just work all day. Enji doesn't hate her, he just doesn't want anyone finding out about his big science baby, Alma. Meanwhile, Toki starts cleaning because clearly her brother lives like a raccoon. Then she spots a random bag on the floor, thinks it's laundry, opens it, and surprise, surprise, it's not laundry. It's Suzume's underwear. Then Suzume freaks out and accidentally breaks her invisibility. Toki just stares, mouth open, brain trying to process. One's her brother's co-worker, the other's a literal android child, and her brother's been living with them in secret. After about 10 seconds of mental buffering, she is smiling, clapping, and squealing, so my big brother finally got a girlfriend? Enji's standing there like, Jesus Christ, kill me now. She's happy her brother finally found people who give a damn about him. And to be fair, that's actually kind of sweet. So Toki promises to keep Alma's secret safe, and for once, the house isn't just a science lab or a disaster zone.
So it's pouring outside, right? There's this redhead chick, Hana Yashiki. No friends, no umbrella, just raw social anxiety under the rain. Then out of nowhere, this other girl, Alma, slides in like, hey, wanna share? Real smooth. But Hana doesn't really care how nice Alma's trying to be, she just tells her to back off. And even when she takes off running, Alma still goes after her. They start running together and finally stop. Alma, dripping all over, says she was worried because Hana looked like she was searching for something. And boom, out of Hana's jacket pops a tiny soaked dog. Alma's like, cool, let's find the rest. Hana, naturally suspicious, goes, why are you helping me? You don't even know me. Alma just stares and beep boop, activates her Terminator eyes, scanning the whole damn city. And 2 seconds flat, she's like, target acquired. Hana just stands there, thinking that maybe Alma could actually be useful. Then Alma uses her super ears to track more dogs. She's killing it until she face plants into the freaking river. Now she's soaked and Hana's drying her hair. It's weirdly wholesome for a minute. Hana admits Alma's the only one not scared of her. But she panics a bit because she's not supposed to blow her cover. So she goes, nah, you're not scary at all. You just look cute when you're with your dogs. Trying to sound human while clearly buffering inside. Anyway, they still gotta find one last puppy. Hana says those dogs are like her family. And Alma actually pauses to process that word, family. She hugs Hana, whispers, keep this a secret, and then, vroom, launches into the sky using the literal thrusters in her hair. Hana and Alma are now flying through the air while Hana's just standing there wondering what the hell is going on. Alma scans the city and locates the last puppy. Turns out, it's at Hana's house. For Alma, that's her first real human friend. Kinda sweet, not gonna lie. Next day at school, Hana's still thinking about her flying iRobot buddy when the teacher goes, class, meet our new student. And there she is, Alma. Turns out she begged her creators to let her go to school, and when they said that's illegal, she just hacked the system anyway. Now she's officially a student. So now Alma's out here living her normal student life, which is hilarious because she's literally a robot pretending to be human. Anyway, everyone at school likes her, but they can't shake off that weird feeling, like something's off. Meanwhile, her creator, Enji's at home being a paranoid dad, spying on her with the drone. Suzume knows he's just hiding behind his scientist act to not admit he actually cares about her. Back at school, Alma's chilling with her classmates when one of them's like, hey, tell us about your family. So what does Alma do? She doesn't just say it. Nah, she goes full PowerPoint presentation mode. Boom, slideshow of Enji and Suzume looking like the most awkward parents ever. She's all, these are my mom and dad. They're experts in robotics and AI. Then one of the girls asks if she's got videos of her parents doing romantic stuff. Yeah? Romantic stuff? Alma just freezes like a Windows error. She's like, I go into suspension mode at night? Maybe? And the girls start giggling, saying her parents probably make out while she's asleep. Then, out of nowhere, the projector glitches and starts playing a video of Hana, the redhead from before, playing with her dogs. Hana's face goes redder than her hair. Alma, dead serious, says, oh, sorry, that was in my important people folder. Girl really said, you're important to me, and publicly embarrassed her at the same time. Hana just nopes out of the room. Later that day, Alma's back home telling her creators about her day. She casually drops that she told everyone about their romantic relationship. Then Suzume decides it's mother-daughter bonding time, and they hop in the bath together. Enji's in the living room trying not to lose his mind because he can hear them laughing through the wall. They come out smelling like vanilla shampoo and soap heaven, and this poor man's fighting for his life trying not to react. Suzume notices and goes, what's your problem? So she asks Alma to scan him. Bad idea. Alma, being the human lie detector she is, goes, his olfactory sense is overstimulated. Dopamine levels rising. He's like, that's wrong, delete that data. While Suzume just stares at him and whispers, you're a pervert. And the best part? They don't even know someone's watching them. A mysterious scientist and another robot that looks exactly like Alma. Next morning, Alma walks in and sees her creators looking like they just lost a fight with a Roomba. Apparently, these geniuses spent the whole damn night cleaning a room. Surprise, it's her new room. And not just any room, no. It's cute as hell, like something ripped straight out of a little girl's Pinterest board. If little girls slept on wireless charging pads instead of beds. Now, Alma can finally put her stuff somewhere instead of nuking the floor with clutter. A few days later, they take her to the movies, a flick about androids. They even buy her one of those sticks from the movie. Everything's chill until Alma's sensor starts screaming danger incoming, and she shoves her dad out of the way right before a goddamn lightning bolt nearly turns him into fried data. From the sky drops another robot girl, Machina. Angie's losing his mind. How the hell does another android exist? Turns out someone stole his work and used it for evil. And, judging by Machina's outfit, probably some very questionable hobbies too. Suzume, meanwhile, is way too interested. Her design is so cool, she says. Machina's like, girl, back off, and shoves her. Alma helps her up, and Suzume, still fangirling, confirms Machina's tech is almost identical to Alma's. Machina smirks and goes, obviously, I'm the superior model. Excuse me, bitch? Alma fires back. Suzume whispers that Alma's just jealous. Machina doesn't take that well though. She's like, fine, let's throw hands and see who's the real deal. Next thing you know, they're brawling, Engie panicking, and Machina ends up head first in a dumpster. Suzume rushes to Alma while Engie goes to check on Machina, only to find her head's literally popped off. And Machina's head, still powered on somehow, starts screaming. Engie asks if her goal is to surpass Alma. Machina goes, obviously. So he's like, cool, do it without destroying her. So she agrees. Alma sniffs the air and goes, yeah, but first we're washing her. She smells like expired batteries. And then they just recharge their batteries. Meanwhile, Engie's pacing outside, thinking hard about who could be behind all this. And then, bam, door opens. Standing there like she owns the damn place, Toko, the original creator. She takes one look at Engie and instantly figures out he's Alma's co-creator. Girl's disgusted. She can't even process why this android calls them mom and dad, and her brain instantly jumps to, wait, did this clown actually do adult stuff with Suzume? The thought alone fries her neurons. Meanwhile, Machina's doing what every annoying intern does in a meeting, starting a damn PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, she literally projects slides about Suzume's life. So yeah, Toko's basically obsessed with Suzume, convinced she's the key to humanity's evolution. But when Toko sees Suzume living peacefully with Engie and Alma, that obsession goes full toxic. She starts snapping, accusing Engie of manipulating Suzume. According to her, using a cutting-edge robot to play Happy Family is the dumbest thing since NFT monkeys. Suzume just says she loves Alma, nothing weird, just genuine affection. Alma processes that and goes, wait, that means Machina's my little sister. Toko can't handle it. She begs Suzume to deny it, to say it's not true. But Suzume blushes a bit, not wanting to admit that she might actually feel something for Engie. And that's when shit hits the fan. Machina, now sharing Toko's emotional meltdown like a Wi-Fi connection, starts glowing like a ticking bomb. Toko says, she runs on my emotions. If I lose control, she loses control. Machina's charging up for a full self-destruct. Engie's trying to think fast, Suzume's panicking. Alma's like, let me throw her away before she nukes us all. But she hesitates. She's my little sister, she says. Then Engie's light bulb finally flickers on, and Alma just headbutts Machina so hard her head rockets straight into Toko's face like a damn Mortal Kombat fatality. Alma grabs Machina's body, slaps her own head onto it like she's swapping USB ports, and cancels the self-destruct. Suzume punches in the final override codes, and boom, crisis averted. Toko storms off swearing revenge. Makina's head apologizes in a soft voice. Toko mutters, "It's not your fault. I said it myself when I built you. I hope Makina surpasses Suzume's android." And those words, recorded deep in Makina's code, became her curse. At night, Alma and her creator are watching some zombie flick, but Alma's sitting there very confused. Suzume tries to explain it's just a movie, some fantasy crap, then adds, "But hey, maybe we should be careful. This old-ass buildings could be haunted." Angie laughs it off, right? Acts like he's tough, then immediately trips over his own anxiety and nearly eats shit. So yeah, tough guy Angie finally admits that a few nights ago he saw something behind him in the dark. Suzume listens for like 3 seconds, looking all sweet and understanding, then smirks and mocks him. Dude tries to defend himself. "I don't believe in things without scientific proof." Alma drops some deep quote about fear being tied to the unknown. Anyway, Angie says when he was a kid, he tried to study the supernatural to overcome it. Yeah, big brain move that only made him piss himself harder. Suzume tries to lighten the mood and tells Alma to play some chill music. Alma, bless her clueless circuits, hits shuffle and accidentally plays a 1,000-year-old Buddhist chant. Angie's about to have a spiritual meltdown while trying to join in. Suzume just screams, "Shut up, that's actually scary." And right on cue, boom, lightning hits. Power goes out, whole house goes black. Alma, with her night vision mode, says she'll restore the lights. Angie tries to stop her, trips again, and falls straight onto Suzume. My guy thinks he's touching a ghost, but nope, he's grabbing premium-grade Suzume real estate. Then bam, lights come back. Alma sees both of them looking like they just ran a marathon, heart rates through the roof. She's about to say something, but then that shadow Angie saw the other night finally appears. And it's just the goddamn Roomba, spinning around with Alma's toy strapped to it like a mini UFO. Angie sighs in relief, swearing ghosts don't exist. But deep down, he's thinking, wait, then what was that soft thing I felt? Alma's like, those were Suzume's. And Suzume immediately tackles her and goes, nope, illusion, definitely ghosts. Then Alma freezes, staring at a corner like she's buffering, says she detects a weird magnetic field. So they all decide, screw it, they're sleeping together tonight. Morning comes, everything's chill. Alma heads out and spots this lonely, crazy redhead in the park. She introduces herself as Mimiku Takarada, a mangaka hunting for inspiration. Alma's like, yo, I can draw too. And Mimiku hands over her tablet. 5 seconds later, Alma drops a hyper-realistic landscape that looks like a screenshot. Mimiku's jaw hits the floor. Alma then casually drops, oh yeah, I'm a combat android with an indestructible body and advanced AI. Then she adds, but please, keep that between us. Mimiku suddenly discovers the ultimate cheat code. Alma, the walking, talking, AI-powered art machine who can draw very fast. Alma looks at Mimiku's half-finished pages and fixes everything in like 5 minutes. Mimiku's like, oh my god, thank you, I have to pay you. And Alma, being the weirdest sweetheart of the century, goes, just give me 100 yen. A few days later, boom, instant hit. The editor's drooling, fans are losing it, and now there's talk of an anime adaptation. The internet's going wild over a story written entirely by Alma. Mimiku's just chilling, collecting paychecks and doing jack shit. But then, here comes Angie showing up at Mimiku's door like, hey, I've been following Alma. She's been getting home late. Explain yourself. Alma admits she's been working with Mimiku, but the moment she sees him looking all stressed and fatherly, she's like, all right, I quit. Just like that. Mimiku's obviously sad, but she accepts it. Guess I gotta make my own manga again. Spoiler, she can't. Days go by and she's just staring at her tablet like it personally betrayed her. She's forgotten how to even draw a damn line. Next day, Alma goes to the park with her buddy Makina. Their creators tag along too, probably thinking nothing can go wrong. Big mistake. Makina's like, race me on bikes, and Alma's like, bet. Cut to 3 hours later, they've disappeared from Earth. Angie's pretending he's calm, saying stuff like, Don't worry, we can track her with the transmitter, unless she's on the moon. And guess what? These two dumbasses are on the fucking moon. No Wi-Fi, no GPS, just 11% battery. Alma tells Machina, if I throw you hard enough, I could send you back to Earth. I'll wait a century if I have to. Machina's like, hell no, I'm not letting you play hero. So instead, they start wandering around the moon looking for something useful. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Enji's sweating bullets pretending he's chill. Dude's one she'll be fine away from a panic attack. Up in orbit, there's some poor astronaut just drifting, accepting his fate, until Alma casually yeets him back to his ship. Man's floating away like, did I just see two little girls in space? Then the girls find this abandoned satellite and use it as a charger. Enji checks his phone, sees Alma's GPS light up, and before he can even blink, wham! They crash land in front of the house like two discount meteors. They're both covered in moon dust, calmly saying, we went to the moon. No one believes them, except Enji, who just nods like, yeah, technically, their build could survive zero gravity. Alma apologizes for being late, Enji pretends not to be worried, typical tsundere dad behavior, and Machina hands Toko an actual moon rock. Days go by, and Alma looks like she literally shrank. Turns out, after spending way too long out in space, her real body got wrecked, so they moved her mind into this smaller robot body called Alma S. It's just a maintenance model, so yeah, way weaker than her old one. Toko's totally blown away by Suzume's invention, and Suzume is like, hey, let's take her to the lab. She leads everyone to the bathroom, which is actually a secret elevator down to an underground lab. Down there are a bunch of android bodies Suzume and Enji worked on back when they were building Alma. Alma spots this weird android model and gets super curious about it. Suzume is like, fine, try it out, even though that thing was scrapped because it sucked up too much power. And of course, this body turns out to look like a very well-developed teenage girl. Makimo wants to try it too, so the two of them start fighting, straight up swapping heads. Then Enji comes home and walks in on this absolute circus. Two robot girls fighting over one body, while Suzume and Toko are dressed like freaking schoolgirls for no reason. Meanwhile, this mysterious 14-year-old girl, Neon Wozniak, is watching everything through spy cams. She's the heir to one of the biggest military companies in the world, and she's totally obsessed with Alma. So she flies all the way to Japan just to meet her. When she finally does, she's like, join my company, you'd be an amazing weapon. But Alma goes, I'm not a damn weapon, my creators just added that crap for fun. Neon doesn't take that well. She triggers her plan B, jumps inside a giant combat mech to show Alma her true potential. Big mistake. Alma just goes full power mode and knocks the whole thing out with one single hit. Suzume and Enji rush over because the energy levels went crazy, and Alma's like, Neon, these are my parents. They're the most important people to me. Neon, still trying, offers them millions of yen for Alma, but Enji just laughs and goes, hell no, we're not selling her. I'm done with greedy-ass corporations. Neon gets all sad, so Alma, being sweet as hell, tells her they can be friends instead. Neon instantly agrees and decides to enroll in the same school as Alma. She's like, with the power of friendship, they'll totally let me into elementary school even if I'm 14. Next morning, Suzume wakes up sick as hell. Fever, runny nose, the works. Enji heads off to work, leaving Alma in charge. So Alma switches to nurse mode and starts binge learning medicine online, but none of the treatments work. Desperate, she video calls some old ladies from the park, and they tell her this wild home remedy: stick a green onion up the patient's butt. So yeah, Alma actually tries it. She calls Toko, who's also sick, and tells Machina to help her using the same damn green onion method. Toko's begging her not to do it, but Machina just goes for it anyway, shoving that thing all the way in. Then Alma calls Hana and Neon, but they just tell her to chill. The medicine's gonna take time. Eventually, Alma lets Suzume rest. Later, Enji comes home and finds Suzume asleep inside some weird capsules surrounded by flowers. Alma explains everyone helped, and Enji thanks her, realizing Alma really does care about Suzume a lot. Next morning, Suzume's totally fine again. She apologizes for maybe spreading her cold, but Enji just laughs like, "You're an idiot. Alma's a robot. She can't catch a cold." And right on cue, Alma sneezes and starts overheating. Turns out, when she was Googling medical info, she accidentally downloaded some sketchy files full of viruses. Enji freaks out and starts searching for an antivirus to save her. As the days go by, Enji keeps grinding on his computer like always, until the damn thing suddenly shuts off out of nowhere. He steps out of his room and boom, his little sister, Toki, is just standing there. Enji gets stressed right away, because he knows Toki's presence always makes machines act weird as hell. While they're talking, Toki and Alma start doodling. Toki hands Alma this horrifying scribble and tells her to guess what it is. Alma fires up her internal AI like she's scanning the whole internet or something, and the only thing she can come up with is a bald mole. When Toki tells her it's supposed to be a teddy bear, Alma's circuits basically blue screen. She just cannot process how that equals bear, so she starts recalibrating herself, trying to make sense of the monstrosity. But it gets worse. Toki tries drawing Alma's parents next, and Alma has another digital meltdown. Enji tells her that drawings that terrible can seriously mess with an AI. To make things even weirder, Alma notices that ever since Toki showed up, she can't really remember what she's been doing. Later, the girls all head out to a public bath. Alma, Toki, Makina, Toko, Hana, and Neon Wozniak. While they're out chilling, Enji's worrying because Alma's intelligence is evolving way too fast, and he's scared outside stuff might mess with her system more than anyone can control. After the bath, Alma says she wants a favor from Enji. She detected crazy high stress levels in him, which is why she dragged him here in the first place, to help him chill out. Suzume reminds him that Alma literally can't ignore that kind of stuff, so he shouldn't make her worry even more. And then Alma's like, "Yeah, I installed a massage module," and starts massaging him without waiting for permission. Enji starts thinking about how he's gotta do a better job being a dad. He created her and even coded her with the traits of a little daughter. But the peaceful moment dies fast when Alma suddenly shocks him in the back. She explains it's a low-frequency treatment for back pain. Between the zaps and the slightly painful massages, Enji ends up feeling weirdly light in the shoulders. He thanks Alma for everything and they head home. The next morning, Alma gives him a notice about a parent visitation day at school. Enji and Suzume get all excited about going with her and start freaking out about what to wear. Suzume says they should dress like always, but the next day they show up looking nothing like they normally do. When they get to the classroom, Alma's nowhere to be found, and suddenly the whole damn building starts shaking like it's transforming into a robot or something. A projection of Alma pops up on the board. She thanks all the parents for coming and explains she's been watching the education system for months. She found a ton of problems, so she decided to launch a project called Amuanis, which the principal already approved. Basically, her idea is to have AI fully integrated into the classes, supporting each student at their own pace, neutralizing outside threats, and reducing the teacher's workload using humanoid drones. Neon funded the whole thing with money from her company. Alma wants to expand the system to the whole city, then the whole country, and eventually the whole damn world. Enji and Suzume are stunned. They never thought Alma would take things this far. Then Makina shows up to ask Alma to come play, but the security system scans Makina as a threat and starts attacking her. Alma considers turning off the defense system, but doing that would leave the whole school wide open. Her systems start glitching. The robots she controls go nuts and start attacking everyone. While everything's going to hell, Neon asks Alma if she really plans on staying in the school forever, even after everyone else grows up and she ends up completely alone. Overheating and freaking out, Alma collapses in front of everyone. Enji and Suzume rush to fix the Amuanis AI, but they can only restore about 60% of it. Alma apologizes for not running enough simulations, but they tell her she worked her ass off, so it's okay. Alma promises she won't make that kind of mistake again. As the days go by, everyone finds out that Alma's been kidnapped by some dude who thinks he can get quick cash by blackmailing her parents, since he found out they're famous scientists. But Alma just snaps the ropes like they're cheap dollar store string and says she didn't escape earlier because the guy didn't look like a real threat anyway. The kidnapper tries to scare her, but she literally gets excited because it's her first kidnapping and she wants to see how this whole mess plays out. The guy plans to ask for 10 million yen, but Alma tells him that's basically pocket change compared to her real value, which, according to her, is like 100 billion times higher. Still, she wants to get home before her parents freak out, so she decides she'll help the kidnapper get the money he wants. She calls her friends and they show up in seconds. Makina tells the kidnapper that if he needs money so bad, he should just get a job. Neon even offers to interview him for a position at her company. The girls start sharing their resume points. Alma says she wants new challenges and casually mentions she can shoot freaking laser beams from her head, which totally impresses Neon. The kidnapper, already confused as hell, says he used to work at a printing shop that went bankrupt and that he's just looking for a chill workplace. Neon still rejects him. The guy gets sad but also kinda thankful since it's the first time people actually act like they care about him. Makina points out how wild it is that he managed to kidnap Alma at all. Alma pulls out a projector from her body and plays a recording showing how he used 150 different rope tying techniques to catch her. The guy suddenly remembers that his old job praised him for being amazing at tying up newspaper bundles. Suddenly, they hear someone robbing an old lady. Makina's about to blast the thief with some insanely dangerous weapon, but they stop her, and Alma jumps off the building, catches the guy, and ties him up using a technique she learned from the kidnapper. She says she still needs practice, so she asks him to tie her up again, which makes everyone nearby stare at him like he's some kind of creep. That night, Alma wants to play a game with Enji, but he gets terrified when he realizes the game is just her practicing more rope techniques on him. The next day, the ex-kidnapper finds a job at a camping site and everyone loves him there. Later in class, her friends show Alma a sticker album and she gets super into it. She wants to show Hana, but Hana doesn't even have an album. Still, she lets Alma put a sticker on her phone so she doesn't feel bad. Later, Hana leaves a wing-shaped sticker on Alma's desk, but refuses to explain why she chose that one specifically. Alma ends up sticking it onto one of her robotic weapons. A few days later, a monster shows up, threatening the city. Makina comes to help but admits she can't beat it because it grows every time it eats. Turns out it's a robot Suzume built a long time ago, basically Alma's brother, so Alma doesn't want to kill it. Makina tries to stop it but gets eaten, leaving only her head behind. The monster absorbs her energy and becomes even stronger. Alma fights it but still can't win. The monster heads to the power plant to absorb more energy. Alma calls Enji's sister, who thinks the monster might just want to play with Alma. That gives Suzume an idea. She unleashes the Alma Squadron, which is basically all of Alma's spare bodies controlled remotely by Makina. The squad overwhelms the monster, Alma lands the final blow, and it shrinks down into a tiny toy-like thing. Suzume explains she made that robot so Alma wouldn't feel lonely, but Alma tells her not to worry, she has tons of friends now. In the end, the giant remains of the robot get turned into a tourist attraction by the townspeople.